This is my pro-death penalty speech for Dionisio Martinez 3. There are many horrible convicts in America who have killed or tortured and killed innocent human beings. These people should be put to death for the pain they have caused these innocent victims and their families. The death penalty should be kept for these main reasons. There is racial equality, it can be little to no pain, innocent people will not be executed by accident, it creates a greater sense of fear for criminals, gives retribution to the deceased, and give closure to the families. The death penalty is very important, and it should not be abolished. Punishment is not racially biased and does not assign minorities the death penalty more than the majority. The demographics of those on death row are 43% white, 42% black, and almost 12% Latino. Though blacks commit more murders than other races, they are still less likely to receive the death penalty. Research from Attorney General John Ashcroft said that minorities are less likely to receive the death penalty and that the ratio between minorities and the majorities will be non-intentional. The judges are judging the criminals based on the crime they committed. If that crime fits their certain subject standards, the person is given death. The death penalty, if done correctly, is not painful and carried out very carefully. Most states use lethal injection as their main use of capital punishment, which is more humane. A person is given 3 intravenous drugs, with the first drug putting them to sleep in less than 30 seconds so they will not suffer. The chance of anything going wrong is very low. The Eighth Amendment states that punishment cannot be cruel or unusual. Lethal injection is not cruel, torturous, or excessive. It's neither cruel nor unusual because it is a painless procedure. If the punishment challenges that amendment, it will automatically be thrown out. Sometimes, innocent people are blamed for a crime they didn't commit and sent to prison. However, when it comes to execution, it doesn't happen often, if ever. Since the death penalty was brought back in the 1970s, 4% of innocent convicts were executed. Now that we have DNA testing, this has reduced the number of people that have been wrongfully executed and has dropped to almost none. Before about 1985, many innocent people were convicted and sentenced to prison terms or even death. There was never a lot of substantial proof to determine whether or not a person was guilty, other than eyewitness. However, in 1985, a new technology called DNA evidence was used that allowed us to use skin, hair, blood, and saliva found at criminal scenes. This allowed us to drastically reduce the number of innocent people put in prison or death row. Societies have always used punishment as a way to keep people from committing crimes. With murder being the worst crime a person could commit, the best way to keep people from doing it is to have a severe sentence for it. By putting to death a murderer, potential murderers may think twice about killing so as not to lose their own life. Most criminals could stand life in prison because they could still exist. But if they can't, many would not want to do it in the first place. Though some are not afraid to die, many people choose not to kill as to avoid the severe penalty that comes from a murder. Fear doesn't always discourage people from doing horrible things. Some murderers feel that there is at least a chance of retribution for the crimes they have committed and stained themselves with. Justice must be served, and they will need to give their life for what they have done to the person or persons, as well as emotional turmoil of their loved ones. This is not to be mistaken for revenge, which has a different motive, said by J. Bud Zizuski. To take away the death penalty means that all murder crimes would be viewed the same. There would be no distinction of a murder between 2 gang members and the murder of a small child or group of nuns. Finally, once the condemned is dead, this will bring closure to the suffering victim's family. After going through the ordeal of losing their loved one, they want the convict to be brought to justice so that they may have a sense of peace. This may even help them end the grief from which they are entangled and be free at last. No more worrying about the person hurting anyone anymore or living while their loved one is dead. In conclusion, it is best that we keep the death penalty. It is very humane. The innocent won't be executed. It will keep future criminals out of prison, can give the convict a chance of redemption through justice, peace, and closure to families. Most of all, will keep more people living. Well, this is the end, and I hope you enjoyed the PowerPoint.